Happy 11/11 portal, everybody. I'm just going to give everyone a few minutes to come in. And in the meantime, how are you? I will share what's been going on for me the last couple days. Day before yesterday, I had a really interesting feeling come over me in the evening. And I actually just had to sit down and sit with it. And it felt like I was on plant medicine, but I hadn't taken any plant medicine. And so that was very interesting. And so it was a very light feeling, very energetic, very flow, I would say. And then all of a sudden, yesterday, I was good until about the afternoon. And then I started to get this really good kink in my neck. And I believe that's just trapped energy in the body trying to move out. So, how have you been feeling? I'd really be curious. Put it in the comments below for me. I do check all the comments later on. So, if you're watching this video afterwards, that's okay too. So, I just really wanted to tap in this morning nice and early because I've got a full day. And so, just watch whenever you can. Yeah. And I just want to send you lots of love today. Not only is it the 1st and the 11th making a 111 portal, we started back in November with an 1111 portal. And so it creates this space and opening. And I felt it was quite a purge space. What doesn't serve you? What do you need to get out of the way? Energetically, the vibration on the planet right now is vibrating what you need to look at up, right? And out of you, so to speak, to allow your body to activate at a higher vibration. In order to work on these things and to release these things, a little intention will go a long way. And so just putting that effort in, like if you're feeling a little discombobulated, oh, what's coming up for me? And ask yourself, is this something from my childhood? Is there something I need to release? Quite often, the opposite of something that makes you sad is anger. So, was there a situation in your life that you were frustrated with that you kind of locked in your body? And most of us have can also come from other timelines, past lives, whatever you prefer to call it. And when that happens, again, it's important just to try and release it. And so when it's from your childhood, you can observe it from the observer point of view. Remember, you're not the one thinking, you're not the one speaking, you're the one observing that. So you are a soul having a human experience, and you've been here before. This isn't your first time. And if you're called to watch these videos and you're following me, then you're absolutely a circuit breaker. You're meant to come in and shift this lineage that you've come into this lifetime and be a circuit breaker, stop the patterns. And it can be challenging. It can be frustrating. It can be enlightening. It can be amazing. So you will go through the gamut of experiences and emotions. And as you observe yourself as a child, and you can talk to that inner child. Now, be the observer. Don't relive the experience. Take it from an observer's point of view. And I can use an example from when I was growing up and just knowing that my parents were a combination of their experience, their beliefs, and their programming as well. And what that means is that there wasn't really, it's nobody's fault. And so when I take it from that neutral perspective and I choose to honor it with love, like, hey, they did the best they could knowing what they knew. And, I'm grateful for my experience growing up. So as I observe that, I will talk to that inner child and say, look, we're okay. We've made it this far. We can let this out of our vibration now, out of our system, out of our field, and choose to elevate instead and to grow in a new way and to up level ourselves, because this is our gift right now, to be able to up level. And it would be really important, hi Arlene, really important to choose that I don't want this experience anymore. You do have a choice. You can make this decision for you. And so for those of you just joining, I just want to recap. It's the 111 portal today. It is a new moon. It is also 2024, which adds up to 8. And then you add the 111 and you get 11. So it's a very important new beginning. We can choose to have a new beginning. What do we want in our life? And so I invite you to grab a piece of paper and take a few minutes and write down what you want to let go of so you can remove that from your fear. Is it fear? Is it frustration? Is it anger? Is it repeating habits that you're in a loop of that keep coming through for you? So you can write these things down and then choose to burn it. And the reason I recommend burning it because you're releasing it into the ether, so to speak, okay? And by letting go of these things, we have this opportunity to then integrate the new. And so then you can make a list or put it on sticky notes. I like to use big sticky notes and write them with a Sharpie so it's nice and big. And you can watch this video afterwards. You can just listen for now and then watch it again and go through the process and be able to claim what you do want and to claim it with um, power. So I choose, I choose to choose love over fear because at the end of the day, it is all about love. We are meant to operate from love because love is a state of being. It is not an emotion. You may feel sometimes that you meet someone and they give you these butterflies or they make you feel good. Quite often, that's a recognizable trait for us. In other words, I can explain for myself, the men in my life happen to be a lot like my father, which was comfortable for me. And so then by realizing that and then breaking that pattern, I can choose to elevate and operate from a new way of being. And you aren't your past. Remember, when we're focused on our past, it's like a bow and arrow, and you take an arrow out of your back, so the past, and then you're shooting it to the future. It doesn't serve you, it doesn't do you any good at all. And so we really want to every day have gratitude for what we're grateful for, whether that be the roof over your head or your pets or your children or your health or your job or the fact that, I get to be in nature today. Whatever you choose to be grateful for, you will get more of. Because remember, everything is a vibration, everything is a frequency. Even though I'm sitting in this chair feels solid, but it is just vibrating so slow, we can't see it with these eyes. And so, if everything is vibration, then we need to be very careful because every word, every action, and every thought is manifesting our reality. So please know that. I guarantee this is true for me. This is how it works. I am here to support you in this. And so on this new moon, on this opportunity to think about what do I claim for myself this year and write it on those sticky notes, put it around your house. And every time you go by it, stop. Look at that note, look at that affirmation, say it out loud and feel as if you already have it. So it could be about money, it could be about health, it could be about freedom, because really we're all sovereign beings, and sovereignty is kind of being tossed around a bit. But sovereignty means to be claimed that you are a free soul. You are not part of this, I often say, tax farm, because we come into this world and we're programmed right from the beginning and then from school and then from jobs. And so what we believe to be our reality isn't quite true, not for what we've been brought up to be. And so I encourage you to explore this because if you're listening, you know I am speaking truth. You can feel it in my voice, in my resonance, and I am here now to help through this consciousness shift. This has actually been a war on consciousness because we are very powerful beings. The things I've learned over the last few years about myself and our abilities and our birthright, and yeah, it's just magical. And I keep getting shown that, yes, that's true. Yes, you've got this. Yes, you're on the right path. And as soon as I'm not, something will shift. I will feel, ooh, this isn't moving forward smoothly. Why am I being slowed down? And then I have to stop and pause. Okay, is there another way? Is there somewhere else I should be looking? Please guide me. I surrender to my higher self, so to speak. Please guide me on what I need to do next. Because quite often in this mind, I don't know everything. And so if I can tap into more of the energy of things, then it's much easier. And so as we move through 2024, there's going to be a couple things going on. One in the show or the political realm or the world outside, it's going to look really chaotic because this is a big clearing. This is a big push for exposing, bringing things to the light and out of the shadows. And when you pull things out of your shadow or the collective shadow and it's brought to the light, then it gets healed and released. I hope that makes sense. So don't be afraid of things that are shadow. Don't be afraid of it. It's a gift. Shadow is a gift to be brought to the light, to elevate it, to learn from it, and then to release it so you can embody into your being more of what you want. Hello, Cross. Thank you. So we can embody more of what we want into this next being, right? And it's really important to remember we're not meant to be in a rat race. We're not meant to be chasing everything and so busy on that hamster wheel that we can't step off and have a few minutes for ourselves. So try and carve a little time for you each day. I really love the process of in the morning having gratitude, in the morning running white light before I get out of bed through my being, checking in on all my cells, singing my every little cell song. Every little cell in my body is happy. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell. Yeah. And when you do that, it it shifts you. You're claiming that. And so there's these beautiful processes of gratitude lists. And then before you go to bed, write everything that's on your mind so that you can release it and then write a gratitude list. And if you have a question, write out that question at night. It may come to you in your dreams. I'm about to head down to Mexico for a few weeks to do some course building for you guys, so we can create some courses that'll just sit online, so you can do them on your own time and review them. And we need to do that somewhere with the sun. I am definitely requiring some sun right now, and it is every part of my being because the sun will allow when the sun hits your eyes, you're up leveling your cells. It also creates a chemical within the body that activates the skin so that you don't get burnt unless you're out there for hours and hours. But you don't need sunscreen. I never wear sunscreen. I never have. In fact, I've always also lost sunglasses throughout my life. They've broken or I've lost them. And I'm super grateful for that now that I know because I used to get frustrated. Why can't I keep sunglasses? What's wrong with me? And then I realized, oh, I'm not supposed to be wearing them. So everything is always happening for your highest good. Everything's happening for you, not to you. So as we move through these next few months, think it's in April, we have Capricorn full moon. And so this is the window of manifestation. This is my belief. You can choose to believe as you wish, or maybe not believe at all. That's up to you. But if this resonates with you, consider taking some notes and making this for you. And please like and share the video. This will be recorded. It will be up afterwards. So if you missed the beginning, you can always watch that again. So again, we're in the 2024 0111, which when you add that all up, also adds up to 11. So not only is it the first, um, maybe I'll bump into the Clinton. I hope not. Haha. The Clintons. So we're going down to Mexico and February 1st to the 7th, hosting a retreat, going into the Mayan ruins, going into the cenotes, which are those meteorite underground pools which aren't affected by the sun. And so the water is very pure. So the pH isn't changed. They're quite magical and healing and an opportunity. Plus, we really want to give you more tools. And within a week, you'll have a really good toolbox full of tools to go back into the regular life that you're leading right now and have some new tools to go in with. It's much easier when you actually practice them for a week. And then you're like, okay, I got this. And then we'll keep checking in on you to make sure you keep it up, right? And so if that is of any interest, please reach out. We have a beautiful place, really good food, a pool, the ocean, and a really good chance to unplug and reset, so to speak. And I really enjoy these. I was just up at Vedette Lake doing one of the unplug and resets, and it's amazing. It does my soul so much good to just be for a bit and not be so focused on what I have to do, because that's a very physical, masculine side of the body, which is your right. And then your left is your more feminine, your intuition. And what you want to do is create that balance between the two and then connect mind, body, and spirit. And that's where the alignment happens. That's where you get the opportunity to flow in life, to feel lighter, to feel that abundance. And abundance isn't always about money, but I can tell you it certainly helps, right? Right now. I do know as we move into the future, and I know we will do energy exchanges. If you think about it, money is just a piece of paper that we exchange our energy for to buy services and goods. Well, what if we could just use our energy to exchange what we need? Whether we create something, what do you love to do? And I would start thinking about this now. What do you love to do? What are you passionate about? Because when you're in your passion, the money will follow. And that makes it really nice. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze maybe. What are you really passionate about? What do you love to do? If you didn't have to worry about money, what would you do? People are right now so caught up and so stressed about money that they can't think about anything else. All they can think about is I got to get to work, got to deal with the kids, got to get food on the table, got to pay the bills. Oh my God, interest rates are going up again. How are we going to manage this? This is created on purpose. And then when you hit sort of your max point and we have a breakdown for a breakthrough, which I had about 7 or 8 years ago in my business where I just couldn't do it all anymore and I couldn't do it alone. And I reached out for help and ended up with a coach who really gave me a couple key words and a couple key tools that flipped me. It was like somebody flipped a switch and it was an activator for me. I went, "Oh, I am creating my reality." Wow. Okay, I'm responsible. I am, and I knew I was the common denominator. But I had to really accept full responsibility that I create my reality. So every choice you make is really important. And so when you start to make those choices in a really conscious way and you work on your energy and you work on your vibration, it's a path, but it's the most beautiful path. My surrendering in Egypt last year and using divining rods to decide what to do and where to go and say, guide me, and having dreams about certain stones and do this and take this there. And I just did it. And I just followed the guidance. And I came back and I was super activated. I brought some of my energy back with me from timelines there. And I had this ability too, where I do this all the time. I call all my energy back to me through all space, time, and dimension. I call all my energy back to me through all space, time, and dimension. I call all my energy back to me through all space, time, and dimension. So be it and so it is. So be it and so it is. So be it and so it is. I did that all through Egypt. I do it regularly. Every time I drive somewhere and then come home, every time I go somewhere and come back, what you do is every action you take starts a little timeline. And so you want to call that energy back to you so you're not spread so thin. And so feel free to use that as well. Cross says, I would open an animal shelter. Beautiful. Absolutely. So maybe if you have the time to volunteer at one now or offer to animal sit so that you can start to connect with the animals because you'd be really surprised. Oh, you're a dog whisperer. Ah, Cross, you're a dog whisperer. Some people don't realize it yet, but you're going to come into these gifts. And these gifts are gifts that you're not aware of, but will assist you in your next evolution, so to speak. And one of them is this ability to communicate with dogs specifically as a dog whisperer, so that you have this ability to communicate with them and they're going to trust you and love you and follow you. And so you'll be able to help other people with this as well. So definitely, I would look into that and energy. So tapping into energy more and realizing that you're an energy being first, and this is your avatar, right? And we can all lean into this a little more to realize you're an energy being and that you get to choose your reality here. Don't let anyone else choose it for you. Don't give your power away. And so, again, as we move through this, it's a good time to set intentions. What do you want? I want to travel the world. I want to speak and activate people. That is my mission, is to activate you to be the best version of yourself. Because as we all rise into the collective consciousness is elevated, and therefore we can elevate more people. The more of us that are doing this elevation, this light work, and even this shadow work, because it's all about the balance. What do I need to look at? What do I need to bring to the light? Because once you do that, then you're freeing yourself even more to vibrate higher. And this extra vibration, because the earth is going through a photon belt, photons are light energy. The Schumann resonance has been off the charts. I believe the Schumann resonance is a reflection of earth, of earth's vibration and our vibration. So when it's going off the charts, I'm like, yeah, look at us go, right? We're elevating ourselves. Earth is fixing her ley lines, which are like the body's meridian systems. You'll see more volcanoes, more earthquakes. Look at Japan. There's a few more earthquakes happening recently. She's shifting because man decided to try and control Earth. Well, guess what? No, no more. We're moving into this new age, this Aquarius age of us being able to um, have our full birthright of abundance. I promise you it's coming. Now, but the next year could be a little rough as more of the collective shadow is brought into the light. So when you see these things happening, don't go into fear. Observe it. Be the eye of the storm. Because when you energetically tap into something and you would start to engage, you're giving your power away. But if we can observe it from a very loving, neutral place, because it doesn't matter if it's good or evil, we're all souls and we're all connected to source. This is my belief, God, source, whatever you prefer to call. God is not a person up in the sky, but this energy being that has created this whole universes, and there's many. And so, as Earth is going through an ascension process, an expansion process, and we're going through it for the first time in these bodies. We've never made it in these bodies. We've failed every time. Something has come up and we haven't made it. This is our time. This is why I'm here. I'm here to help with this, assist with this, guide with this. It is my mission, and I claim it. You're welcome, Cross. So as we go through this, we have to remember we're all connected. So no matter how evil you think somebody might be in another timeline or lifetime, oh, you as a soul, to have soul growth, did evil things too. And so then you can go, oh, this is part of call it a game, call it a realm, call it whatever you choose, that we've all been dark and light. We've all been both. And so if this message resonates with you, you've been around many, many times, thousands of lifetimes. Do I remember them all? No, not yet, because it's not my time to come into that full knowing. What I do know is that I'm given messages, I'm being guided, I trust. And when I trust and move forward in that way, more good things come. So I liken it to the best frickin' adventure game ever. As a teenager, I used to play Zelda. Ah, and I used to think, "Oh, I like adventure games." As and all through my life, I've rock climbed, I've ski toured, I've heli-boarded, I've snowboarded, inline skated, mountain biked, road biked. I've pretty much done the gamut of wakeboarded, water skied. I've done all these things. Why? Because it's an active meditation and you don't get to think about anything else while you're doing it. And I spent a lot of time even hiking in nature, hanging out with nature. Nature is always nurturing. And so by doing these things, it really made me realize that I love that feeling of being in full control for myself. Team sports were not for me, and but also that when I pushed myself past, I moved past fear into freedom. So you can choose to do something you're uncomfortable doing. Remember, fear is it's just going to hold you back. So take a small step towards it, towards whatever goal that is. And when fear comes up, that's just your subconscious that only knows you, that is programmed from ages 1 to 7, that is running the program to keep you safe. It only wants to keep you safe. Fight or flight works if there's a tiger in your face or if a lion's chasing you, but it doesn't work when you're trying to go towards a goal and you stop because it doesn't feel as natural as what you're used to. That's all it is. So fear to me is an acronym for face everything and rise. And so doing all those sports, I don't have fear. I'm an entrepreneur because I wouldn't fit in the system. I grew up as a black sheep because I couldn't follow the system. I did not fit in, which was hard growing up because I always wondered, why don't I fit in? And so then I ended up being one who um, bucked the system, so to speak. And it was only in high school, I moved out at 16 so I could do what I wanted, play up late and play Zelda if I wanted to. I would go to work. And so I missed probably 3 months of grade 11 and 12. I didn't care, but I went to this entrepreneurship program and I graduated from that because that made sense to me. That is putting me in control. Do you know they don't have entrepreneurship in school? They don't have that in high school. It was a pilot program, never went forward. Why? Because they want you to stay in a system. They do not want you thinking for yourself. But now is the time to start thinking for yourself. Claim what you do want. Get rid of what you don't want. We need to clear things that we don't want anymore in our lives in order to allow new things to come in. This is really, really important. Hi, Roberta. Nice to see you. And so, again, those just coming in, come on up back and watch it again. So, we're basically saying 2024, 111 portal, also a new moon. Also, when you add up 2024, that's 8, that's abundance, that's the infinity. But also, you add those other 3 ones and you get 11. So, it's quite beautiful day today. So, I'm feeling really positive. I've got a candle going because I love having candles going while I'm speaking. I've got my magic drink here, which is turmeric, ginger, lemon water, and then a little cayenne pepper. And that helps to activate me and cleanse my system out. And so, how can we move forward now? So, claim what you do want, let go of what you don't want. What you don't want, you're going to write out a list, as I mentioned earlier, on a big sticky note, and then you're going to, or on a piece of paper, and you're going to burn it. Burn that list of what you don't want so you can send it off in the ether. And then claim what you do want and put that on a sticky note with a big felt pen and put it around the house. And then every time you walk by it, I want you to stop, read it out loud, claim it, and then feel it in your body as if you already have it. This is a really big way of manifesting, and I mean claim it. So I have these rods of Ptah that are energetic for me, and they came from Egypt. They're known there. So they're rods of Ptah, and they're just I don't physically have them. I just energetically use them. And I used to say Ptah when Jade was younger, like 6, 7, 8, and she's 18 now. I came up with the word Ptah as a swear word. Now, you can't tell me I wasn't being guided, right? So Ptah's been in my reality for quite a while. And I didn't know then. I didn't know until a couple years ago, like, oh my God, Ptah is a thing. It's just these rods. And so I claim them. And then I will go outside, ground myself, and I will claim what I want. And I'll bang them on the ground. And I'll imagine earth coming up my feet, that abundance, like vines growing up in me and claiming what I want. Because when we're balanced as above, so below, and we merge the two, that's when we get to really move forward. And again, the reason we're going to Mexico is to create some videos and have this retreat. I like to call them RE and then treat. Like I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to retreat myself to a new way of being. And we're going to give you lots of tools to come home with. And then we're also working on a bunch of videos down there, courses on what we believe has been the most profound lessons we've had. That's Norma and I, and what we're doing to create what we do want. So, does anybody have any questions? Hello, I'm Bob. How are you? Good to see you too. Yeah. Does anybody have any questions at all? Please let me know. I would love to answer any questions. And this Friday, we have a sound bath here in North Vancouver at Kalena. It's sold out, which is amazing. And I support there energetically. And Karen from Kalena plays the bowls. And we're working on doing something online so that we can do it more often and play for you guys that are around the world. So we're creating that. So lots of creation going on right now. It's really beautiful. And also that on Sunday, I do have a microdose with the bowls again. And right now we've got maybe 3 spots left open. I haven't checked yet this morning, but those that are meant to come will come. And it's an opportunity to have an in-person session. You can choose to microdose, or you could do a little bit bigger dose, depending on what you're being called to do. And so it depends. We dose for everyone. We make sure it's safe. I create a container. I can't share with you how important this container creation is. I couldn't do that if I wasn't balanced, but I can create an energetic container using some crystals that creates a dome around us that creates a really safe space for everyone. Hello, Freedom Liberty. Nice to see you. Yeah, super excited to have you guys here. And so we've just been running through how today is such an important day, and that from now until April full moon, when we're back in Capricorn, so it's this beautiful 6 month window to go ahead and start really manifesting what you do want, and watch you being guided. So what I always say is a good way to, if you want to play the game, is to ask questions. Because if you don't ask and ask for what you want, don't ask, you don't get, and to then be really observant. So if you write something out, for example, I had written out a question probably about 4 or 5 months ago in regards to working with someone in Egypt, and it was a bit bumpy. So I was like, oh, we're not aligned right now. And so I wrote, should I do this retreat with so and so in Egypt? And the next morning, she pulled out. Within 24 hours, she pulled out. I was like, there's my answer. And I didn't even remember writing that note on the computer. It was like really early in the morning, but I just typed it out. So you can write a note out, ask a question, and then really be observant about where you might get an answer. It could be coming out of somebody else's mouth. I'll use another example. I was at the det with David, and he's giving me tobacco seeds to plant up at the center. And as I'm planting them, we'd come up at the end of the day. So you come out of the valley and you come up on this big rise. And I'm like, oh, look, we got a second sun, right? We get to see the sun again. It's like another opportunity, right? And David's looking at me and he goes, I hear what you're saying. They were trying to get pregnant, and he knew he was having another son, and they're doing that again right now, which I could feel it when I had coffee with him the other day. I was like, oh, I can feel this. And last night we were talking about it too. So if you haven't seen that video, David was on with us last night talking about Vedette Lake and Mexico as well, because he was down there last year. So there's this beautiful opportunity when you claim or you ask a question, the answer will come. It could be in a video, it could be something on the radio, it could be something somebody says in a store to somebody else. But because you're being so in the observer mode, which is how I recommend you always be, so that you're not in it, you're always observing it. And it means you're a little bit quieter. It means you're in a really beautiful neutral position. You're not giving your energy away. And this is how you manage your energy better, is to make sure that you claim it. I also do this all the time. I'm just like, activate me, right? Bring in the energy, dragon, activate me. So spirit animals can help you. So right now, today, I had an ape come in. Well, apes are very, I got this. I'm going to get this done, right? But they're still a beautiful creature, and they're very intelligent. And yeah, you don't mess around with an ape, right? So I thought that was interesting. So, you got to get quiet to get these messages. It means you need to be able to sit a little quieter, or you could be in nature. You could be washing dishes and be really present with that. So, again, let's do a quick recap before I let you guys go. One, 2024 adds up to 8, infinity. That middle point, you think about it, we travel this way in the universe, and that middle point is like the sweet spot, so to speak. Ah, we're here again. So this is the loop we talk about. Are you looping this way, or are you making sure that you're looping both ways? And 2024 adds up to the 8, and then 111 portal, and that 8 plus 111 is 11. So very interesting. So take this opportunity to write down what you don't want in your life anymore, to burn it, and then to really claim what you do want, to make sure you're giving yourself time to be quiet, to be in nature, to listen to the intuition. It's always that softer voice. Quite often it's, oh, was that me? Did I just think of that? Quite often it's not something you would normally think. And it can be very, very helpful. So, but those come often when you're driving or in the shower, when you're doing something, or dishes, when you're doing something where your mind gets to kind of check out a little bit, right? Like, when you drive somewhere and you're like, oh, how did I get here? I don't remember driving here, because you were off, right? Adventuring, so to speak. But your subconscious knows this so well that it can just do it without you, so to speak. So claim what you do want, ask questions, and ask me anytime. And remember, everything's always happening for you, not to you. even though it feels like you're in a shitstorm or something really not well is going on for you. You've got this. You're now aware. You now have a new perspective to show up differently. You have to change. If you don't change, you're going to stay on that loop. So you need to change. I can't do it for you. It's up to you. And with that, I want to wish you all a very beautiful day. And yes, 2024 is a year for more. 100%. Good statement. Thank you, Bob. Yeah. 2024 is a year for more. What are you going to claim this year? What are you going to do this year differently? Because if you're operating the same way, it's going to be the same. If you're programming your subconscious by watching the news or by allowing everyone else to control your life, then you're giving your power away. Claim your power. It's yours. Claim it. I choose to keep my power. I choose to observe and not engage so much. For when I have expectations of others, I'm opening my energy to them and they will drain me. It's really important to manage your energy. Probably the most important thing you can do. Lots of good sleep, eat a little lighter, try intermittent fasting, grounding, nature, beautiful music and frequencies. There's so many tools for you. Take the one that resonates. And when something doesn't resonate, chuck it in the fuck it bucket and move on. Yeah, absolutely. Bob says, I'm ascending out of this matrix to greatness. Yes, that's a great affirmation. I love it. Yes, yes. And as you're going up, you're gonna. So it's kind of like that 2 steps forward, 1 back. It's not a negative when something comes back to relook at it to make sure you're going in the right direction. So everyone wants to ascend sort of like this, but it's more like this. Dun, 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 dun. But you're constantly going up. So yeah, claim what you do want, check the rest. I'm sending you so much love. Absolutely. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We're here for you. And don't forget that to like the video, share with others if you choose, if you believe it'll be helpful for them as well. And happy new moon portal. Enjoy. Bye.